Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Music Weekly, the show where I give you guys the top 5 prog news headlines for the week, introduce you guys to some cool new prog singles, and give you updates on what's happening on the channel here on Nathan on Shuffle. So it's May 3rd, 2025, and quite a bit of cool news this week. I'm excited to get into it. There's some cool releases. I like to talk about the newest albums that have come out recently. There's 2 big live albums that came out, actually. 2 seminal prog related live albums that are getting remastered, redone versions. The first is Gentle Giants Playing the Fool, the complete live experience. Unfortunately, my version got delayed in the mail. I think there's some issues with supply chain and tariffs and all that kind of stuff, I imagine. But it should be coming to me at some point this month. And it's basically the redone version of their classic Playing the Fool live album, but they've reinserted some of the live tracks that were left off of the original version, giving it a more complete package with, of course, the remastered version and everything else on, I believe, 2 CD Blu-ray edition, a 2 CD version, and a vinyl version. So definitely well worth your time if you're a big Gentle Giant fanatic like me. Pink Floyd at Pompeii, also a big seminal live album, a 1972 concert film. I believe it's been released in cinemas, this new kind of remastered version. But the soundtrack or the audio version is released as well this weekend, the 2025 mix. So definitely worth checking out if you're a Pink Floyd fan. A couple of new albums. The Flower Kings released their new album Love, which I did a review of last Sunday. It was when I put that out, so please check out my review of Love. Another solid addition to the Flower Kings discography. They're one of the most consistent modern symphonic prog bands. I believe this is like their 16th or 17th studio album, and they're still going strong in my eyes. So excellent record. A couple of lesser known ones. Great Wide Nothing released their Shout Into the Void, more of like a neo-prog, but with a bit of a punk aesthetic, very focused on keys. I don't believe they have like a main guitar player. It's more just about the keyboards and bass and drums configuration, but a fantastic group nonetheless. Yuka and Chronoship released their album Ribbon Butterfly, a great classic symphonic prog sound to that, one I have to dive into. Trying to make room for all of this stuff. I have a lot of reviews upcoming. I have a trip coming up where it's going to take me away from being able to film, so I'm trying to get some things done in advance. So it's a big process, trying to devote as much time as I can, but there's a lot of exciting things coming up that I'm quite excited to get into. As for the Prog 5, Hot 5 prog news proper. First, we've got news from Big Big Train. They've announced another live album called Are We Nearly There Yet? This is going to be coming out September 19th this year. And interestingly enough, it doesn't seem to be on the Inside Out label, which they recently signed to for their last couple releases. This is going to be released on their own kind of independent label, so to speak, English Electric Recordings. So, but it's going to be a cool compilation project here of their live recordings between 2024 and 2025 on their recent tours. They visited the UK, the USA, Canada, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Norway, Denmark, and Portugal, as well as co-headlining Cruise to the Edge in the past couple of years as well. So this album has been compiled by bassist Gregory Sponton and lead vocalist Alberto Bravin. So this should be a really cool collection of live material, all of the best from all of these different tours. The track list is basically pretty much the Likes of Us album on part 1, and then part 2 is kind of a smattering of different selections from across their catalog. It's being released on a 2 CD format and 3 LP, a gatefold sleeve. This is going to be a really great release if you're a big fan of the band like I am. They recently released a live album just towards the end of last year. I believe it was called A Flare on the Lens, which came also with a Blu-ray. So you got the kind of the visual component. It seems like this is basically audio only. but they've released a version of Black with Ink that's going to be from this live record. If you want a taste of what it sounds like, they were incredible live on Cruise to the Edge and performed a lot of these tracks that are going to be on this live album. So well recommended. They're one of my favorite bands and one of the best live performers in the modern prog scene. So definitely worth your attention. Number 2, more live performance stuff. Jethro Tull announced the Curiousity tour for April and May of 2026, a lengthy UK tour, something to look forward to for next year, celebrating their band's most recent album, Curious Ruminant, as well as their celebrated 24-album career, of course stretching back to 1968's debut album, This Was. So that should be really exciting if you want to see some live Tull. That's a definite tour to go check out. Great that Ian Anderson is still rocking it, still going out and touring and doing these extensive dates. He's going to be accompanied by musicians David Goodyear on bass, John O'Hara on keyboards, Scott Hammond on drums, and Jack Clark on guitar. Also enhanced by a full-scale video throughout the performance. So it should be a lot of fun. If you want to check out tickets, it looks like they go on sale directly from the venues at 9 a.m. on May 9th. There's also Christmas dates, Christmas with Jethro Tull, that's going to be happening this December. You can get tickets for those now. I believe they're available. So great news that Jethro Tull is still out there and active and performing live, and it's well worth your time to go check them out if you are a big fan. Number 3 on the list, Devin Townsend announces extended break from touring after his upcoming North American run. This was kind of a surprise. He announced this on social media, that he's been performing and playing live for quite some time, and it's time for him to take a bit of a break. And so this is going to be an exciting little run of a tour. He's recently done this project called The Moth, which is this big, overarching concept that he performed live at these big dates. And so he's been focused on that and putting a lot of energy towards getting The Moth out there. I believe he's still working on the actual, physical album itself. So he needs a bit of time to breathe and recalibrate from all of the work he's been doing. Doesn't mean he's done playing live forever. Of course, he'll be back after a bit of a break, but he wants to be able to take that break now, be there for his family and friends and people that he needs to be there for, and then come back strong later. So he's going to be releasing a long overdue project in the meantime called The Ruby Quaker Show, a YouTube series that showcases some of his unique creative ventures. So he's still going to be out there and doing his creative work in different ways, but just needs a bit of a reset. So this last run of dates goes from May 2nd, which was yesterday, all the way up through May 23rd, ending in LA at the Wiltern. So if you want to check out Devin Townsend and you're in the U.S. in one of these areas, this might be a good chance to see him because he might not be around for a while. So number 4, Cult U.S. proggers Happy the Man. Their first 2 albums are going to be remastered and reissued. I thought this was cool. I'm a big fan of any U.S. progressive rock, and Happy the Man are one of the few from that early era that had some really notable, cool releases. Their first 2 albums are going to be reissued and remastered on CD and digital through U.S. label Iconoclastic Records in July. This is their self-titled debut, which came out in 1977, and 1978's Crafty Hands. So this should be a really cool remaster and reissue, kind of a long overdue project, and should be a lot of fun to check out if you're a fan of Happy the Man. And so that's really cool. I'm always looking forward to some cool reissues and remastered versions of classic records. And then item number 5, a small update on Lunatic Soul, which is a project from Mariusz Duda of Riverside. He's getting close to finishing work on this latest album. It's going to sum up what he calls the entire 8-part story of the Lunatic Soul series. And he's going to be releasing the first taste of the music at the beginning of June, a 7-minute title track. and then the full album will be released somewhere between October and November this year. So I'm a big fan of Riverside, big fan of everything Mariusz Duda does, so I thought that was notable. And also as kind of a bonus item, I'm of course a big fan of Cruise to the Edge, and they've been announcing their lineup for next year's Cruise to the Edge, which is going to be taking place March 4th through 9th, traveling to Key West and Nassau, Bahamas area. And they've been announcing a lot of great bands, and I want to just kind of run down the list for those who might be interested, who watch the channel and are big Cruise to the Edge fans as well. Marillion is kind of the big headliner here, with also Steve Hackett, Big Train, who've been on the cruise recently. Eddie Jobson was announced, which is really exciting. Symphony X, Adrian Belew, Haken, who are kind of mainstays of the cruise. Life Signs, a newer band that people love, kind of a crowd favorite. Flower Kings, of course, a big fan. Queensryche, Stickman, Protocol, Wishbone Ash, Airbag, Pete Roth Trio featuring Bill Bruford, which was a newer announcement that people were pretty excited about, to see Bill Bruford on board, a true prog legend. Goblin, Crack the Sky, Randy McStein, Crown Lands. Crown Lands was probably one of the more exciting ones for me as a huge fan of their recent project. Of course, very inspired by Rush, a duo that does just incredible instrumentation between the two of them, and have a pretty epic album to check out. Clone, Earthside, Rendezvous Point, Baraka, Alex Henry Foster, Larry Basilio, Dueling Pianos, and Marbin are the announced artists. And there could be other announcements on the way. Alumni are able to book soon. Of course, last year's alumni have already been able to book since April 30th. May 5th, it opens to all alumni guests, and then the general on sale is Thursday, May 8th, if you're interested on booking on next year's cruise. And I will say in advance, me and Jen are not going to be going this time around, it seems. We just can't justify the finances of going a third time in a row, but we're big fans, and we're going to be very active in the community and promoting it, and really excited to hear people's experiences as they go to this next cruise. Another great lineup, very similar in fact to not this year's but last year's lineup. A lot of similar bands, and they all were excellent, so I'm sure they'll be excellent again on this upcoming cruise. So I wanted to highlight that for the cruise fans out there. Me and Jana did a recap of this 2025 cruise that you can check out on our channel if you want to know a bit more about what the experience is like on Cruise to the Edge. And yeah, it's a fantastic time, so I recommend it to all prog fans to do at least once at some point. As for the other singles on my singles list, I link the YouTube playlist that contains all of these singles that I've been talking about throughout the year. Phase Transition has a single called The Other Side. This is an exciting progressive metal trio who are releasing their forthcoming debut album on June 6th this year. A little bit, a disclaimer, a bit of heavier growling vocals on that track, but a lot of variety. It's a pretty expansive track, about 9 minutes long, and there's a good balance of female vocals, but also these kind of death metal vocals as well, but a lot of cool stuff. There's violin in the mix, there's some acoustic lighter sections, but then some really crushing heavier stuff as well. Great blend, and I really enjoy that. I have Magic Pie's Name It to Tame It on my list. Their latest single, kind of a hard rock, cool song with little bits of prog thrown in for good measure. I'm going to be tackling the Magic Pie album Maestro as an upcoming review soon, so look forward to that. A great band that deserve more attention and praise. The Flower Kings have their track We Claim the Moon, which is like the lead-off track from their album Love, a fantastic single, one of the more upbeat, fun proggy tracks from the record. And Big Train's live track Black with Ink, as I mentioned, from their upcoming live album, is also on my list, as well as Cosmograph. They have a track called You Didn't See the Thief. This is a UK prog rock group, and their new album, The Orphan Epoch, is coming out May 23rd through the Gravity Dream label. So check out those videos. Fantastic tracks, a really good solid selection of tracks here. As for the channel itself, like I mentioned, I did that Flower Kings review this past week, so check out that. Really excited about their new album. I think it's a really great step up from their previous one, and I've been enjoying it more and more the more I listen to it. I plan to also do a album review of Lars Fredrik Frosli's newest release. He's the keyboard player of Wobbler and has a new solo album coming out on May 9th, so expect that in the next day or two. Really cool new album that I want to bring your attention towards. Also, in the near future, I'm going to be reviewing Lux Terminus and their album Cinder, a fantastic, mostly instrumental prog metal album that's very keyboard focused, but really an excellent release that I can't wait to talk about. And Magic Pie's Maestro, as I mentioned, that album's releasing May 16th, so I'll have a review out before the release date on that one. Also hoping for the return of stuff with Jana. I know probably a lot of people have been wondering where have the reactions with Jana gone. It's been probably a couple months since we've done a true shuffle into a song that we used to do. That's coming back. It hasn't gone away. We've just been struggling to find the time to record together. It's been busy here. A lot of stuff going on between our different jobs and, traveling and all these different things happening. But we're hoping to have a good recording session this weekend and be able to record some new videos that will be paced out throughout the rest of the month, we hope. So should be a lot of fun on the channel. I'm also starting the early process of a project that I hope will be a lot of fun. I plan to release early June, talking about some of the most seminal top prog albums of all time. I'm going to do a top 25 list, I believe, of what I think, based on science, based on research, what I think are the 25 most prominent, important prog albums, with my own caveats and things to talk about. So definitely will be interested in your feedback when that comes around. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Hopefully this was an enjoyable episode for you guys. I'm really excited about what's coming up. There's a lot of great music as usual. A little bit overwhelmed with all the different stuff that I'm trying to keep up with and trying to listen to. There's 20 plus albums on my playlist that I want to get to that people have pointed my attention towards and that I know are going to be excellent. So sorry I can't get to all the albums. I know a lot of people wonder, why haven't you talked about this album? Why haven't you talked about that one? And I really respect everybody's albums. A lot of people have sent me albums. I get stuff in my inbox, which I really appreciate, but I feel bad that I can't get to absolutely everything. I try to mention it at least in these New Music Weekly episodes if I can't get around to a full-on review, but I apologize to those artists who have reached out. I try my best, but I'm one man here with a full-time job and a full-time family commitment. Trying to get around to as much music as possible. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys will stick around on the channel. Weekly updates, great album review recommendations, and fun material with my wife, sharing progressive rock with her. So all of that to be expected and more upcoming on the channel. Thank you guys for your support and everything you do for the channel, and enjoy the music out there. Bye everybody!